Hey friends, thanks for stopping by for today's video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today's video is going to be 20 questions about me. Not only do I have a channel here on YouTube, obviously you're watching it, but I also am a subscriber and I watch YouTube. I watch other booktubers, I watch a lot of beauty and makeup videos, and there's always great tag videos going around. And I try to think about how I can make that relative to my channel. There are a bunch of different get to know you videos out there, and I thought to myself, well, that kind of fits. My channel is based on my thoughts about the book that I'm reading. And what do I bring to the table? Why do I think I can sit here and talk about the books that I read? What is it about me that you guys don't know that helps me connect to the story more? So I thought it might be kind of fun to go through and do the 20 questions video. When I sit down to film, I often film more than one video at a time, and I always sit in the same place in my house. I sit in what is our extra room on the first floor, an office. Really, it's just a catch-all for everybody's stuff. If I turn the camera around, you would see car parts, you would see a chair, you would see a desk with a bunch of stuff on it, you would see the dog food and the extra pop we have. So it's really just a room where everybody puts their stuff. And I also was able to make a nice little area on this side of the room for me. As you can often hear in my video, our dog Macy is always with me in the room. I'll put a picture of her in there so you can see her. She's always laying at my feet. She's my little shadow, my little partner, and I adore her. And I don't mind that she wants to come hang out with me. She lays down and goes right to sleep. So let's do the questions. The first question is, what's your zodiac sign? I'm a Cancer. I think I pretty much fit most of the typical Cancer boxes that you can read about. I'm emotional. I'm sensitive, I'm a homebody, I'm mushy, I'm a caregiver. Most of the time it's pretty accurate. Question number 2 is 3 fears. So 2 of them are easy. The first one would be snakes. I have a visceral reaction to snakes. I just can't. I can't. Thank God I live in the Midwest. There are not that many snakes around here, although we do have garden snakes. I have never come across one. Now I probably jinxed myself, but I was in Florida a couple of years ago on vacation with my husband, and we were just walking down the sidewalk going to a restaurant, and this little snake ran across. Oh my God. I shook for like an hour afterwards. It was ridiculous. I would say that I'm definitely afraid of heights. You will not find me most likely ever wanting to bungee jump off some huge cliff, or jumping off a cliff into a river, or anything from high up. I mean, I like to look out the window in a plane, but I have never been to the top of the Sears Tower and looked out. I get a little, I don't like heights. And then I actually couldn't come up with a third. The question is 3 fears. And sure, I could talk about how I don't want to leave my family and die. But when I thought about it, I don't fear death. So I don't, of course, want any of my loved ones to die, but I don't fear it because I have faith and I have hope in that there's more for us after it's our body's time to let go. I hope that our souls live on. I've talked about it a little bit on my channel before in certain books about signs and how I feel my loved ones, and so I don't really fear death, so that's not really a fear. So I couldn't really come up with a third. The second part to the second question is 3 things that I love. Well, that's easy. I could have given you 20 things, right? But of course, number 1 is my family. I am married. We've been married for 24 years. We have 3 children. Our children are getting older. We have a high school age child, a college age child, and a kid out of college. So we're at that funny phase in life where our parents are getting older. I have lost my mom, but I do have in-laws, and I do have my dad, and I have a stepdad that are still with us, and I know that that is precious time with them. So definitely my family. The second would be iced coffee. I can't drink it that much because I have to drink decaffeinated. So there's not a lot of decaffeinated iced coffee that you can get at the store to bring home with you. If you know of brands, please comment in the comments below and let me know a decaffeinated. I know I can go to Starbucks and get a decaf Americano, but I don't go to Starbucks all the time. But I love iced coffee. I also love peanut M&Ms. My son is amazing and brings me home the big, massive jar that you can get at Costco. And I I put them up in the cabinet and I'm like, don't anyone touch them. And I put them up there. And those are my little treat for me. Inevitably, somebody always breaks into them as well. But I love peanut M&Ms. Question number 3 is, who's my best friend? I do feel incredibly blessed to have very good friends. I have a group of friends that I've had since I was 14. In my freshman year of high school, I transferred schools. I didn't move, but I transferred schools between 8th grade and freshman year. I walked into that school knowing nobody but my sister. Some of the people that I met within those first couple weeks of school are my very best friends to this day. We are so lucky. We've been through a lot, but we love each other, and I feel incredibly lucky to have known these women, these amazing women, through my life. I'm gonna get kind of teary about it because when you get to be my age, our age, we know how lucky we are. And when you have perspective, you have everything. So I feel very lucky to have them. I also have a few very good friends that I met when my kids were in school. There's a group of 4 of us in particular. One of them is my fellow romance book lover. She and I talk about romance books all the time, but I feel very lucky to have them as friends. And then I also have a friend who we firmly believe that God put us in each other's paths. She was actually a neighbor of mine. We hadn't met each other, and then all of a sudden we did, and we were like, oh my God, we live 2 blocks away from each other. She is a wonderful influence, and I feel very blessed to have her in my life as well. So these 3 different kind of groups of people know me through different parts in life, and yet I've continued to grow and evolve with them, and I look forward to sharing my future with them. The 4th question is my favorite color. So funny, this is my favorite color. Dark red, cranberry, oxblood would be another good color in this family. You'll notice it's in the flowers, it's on the logo that I have. So it's a deep, warm cranberry or dark red. Question number 5 is, do you have a crush? Yeah, I mean, of course I do. I can definitely mention at least one person, which is Jai Courtney. He is an Australian, Australian actor? I believe so. He's been in several movies, but I appreciate him and crush on him because he's who 2 of my very favorite authors used to give a vision for one of their characters, Drew Tucker. The books are the Babylon MC series, written by L.J. Stock and Victoria L. James, and Drew Tucker is the main character, and oh my God. Drew and all that he is put on Jai and the vision that that man is, that is my crush. The 6th question is your favorite place. So this one was kind of a hard one because of course my favorite place would be wherever I am with my family. But I thought outside of the box a little bit more than that. I'm not the biggest traveler. I have traveled around the United States, but I've never been outside of the country. So one of my favorite places to go is someplace I've been to many, many times, which is Scottsdale, Arizona. My mom and stepdad have had, because like I said, my mom has passed, but my stepdad is still alive. a home in Scottsdale, Arizona, which I love. I have such fond memories of visiting, of being there with my kids, spending time there with my sisters and their children. It just holds a very special place in my heart. And it's funny because when I think about some of my favorite places, it's where family is or where I visited family. The 7th question is, do I use sarcasm? Yeah. I mean, who doesn't? I, in my family, am probably the lowest member of the totem pole as far as the gift of sarcasm. I would say my husband and my kids are so much better. It's just part of them. They all have very quick wit. So I think that, you know, my level is not the same with them, but I absolutely use sarcasm. Number 8 is your eye color. My eyes are blue. And then it says your hair color. Well, that's pretty obvious. I'm blonde with a little help. Number 9 is your favorite movie. Hands down, bar none, 16 Candles. Jake Ryan was the first time that I watched somebody on screen and got involved in a story that I was like, oh my God, I want that. I love everything about that movie. I'm a huge John Hughes fan. I grew up in the Chicagoland area where he made most of his films. My husband has worked on his films. So 16 Candles is an easy number 1 favorite. Number 10 is my favorite band. I can't answer that. I mean, I'm into music and I listen to music, but I listen to a lot of different things. I used to not like country at all. And then a few years ago, I was doing a lot of driving and I would be in the car for, you know, anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour one way. It was a very stressful time in life and I just needed to get out of my head and just get away from it for the time being in the car. I turned on country because it was totally different than what I was used to listening to. And lo and behold, I started to like some country music. Now I know. There is real country music and then there is today's country music. Yes, I'm a total today's country music girl, but I do also really like a lot of different kinds of music. So I could never just pick one favorite band. Staying with the music theme, number 11 is my favorite song. Easy, another kind of easy question for me to answer. Fleetwood Mac's Landslide. It's just my song. I loved it since I became aware of it as a young child. I have loved it ever since then. Number 12 is your relationship status. My relationship status is that I'm married. Number 13 is a little ambiguous. It's relationship with my parents. Well, I'm not really sure where this question is going. Do I have a relationship with my parents? Yes. Like I mentioned, my mom has passed, but I have a father, a stepfather, and in-laws. So yes, I have a relationship with my parents. I don't really know how to answer it. Number 14 is my favorite holiday. I have to say that, and it's kind of cliche, I guess, my favorite holiday would be Thanksgiving because it brings us all together as a family and there's, you know, the start of the holiday season. I do love that time of year. I love the decorating, I love the cooking, I love the tree. I love that we get to be together as a family so much during that time. I love the celebration aspect of that time of the year. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and understand that that time of year can be very difficult on people. I have felt that myself. There's of course the missing loved ones. There's the stress of the holidays and being pulled in a lot of different directions. So I acknowledge, you know, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, but Thanksgiving would be my particular favorite because it kicks off all the wonderful things about that time of year. Question number 15 is tattoos or piercings? Yes. Just my ears. I have both of my ears pierced 3 times, although I only just wear, you know, in my first hole these days. I used to wear earrings in all of them all the time, and then for some reason, and this is just me, I kind of felt like, am I getting too old for that? I don't know, so I didn't for a long time and still haven't, but I can still get earrings in there. I do make sure that I still can. And then as far as the tattoos, no, I do not have any, but I know exactly what I will get if and when I do get them. I'm pretty sure I know where I want them. I know for sure there's 2 that I want. I've talked about one of them here on my channel before, probably on my wrist, and it would be the semicolon. But my twist on it would be the top, the period would be a sun and colored in yellow, and then the bottom, the comma, would be colored in blue in memory of my mom and my brother. And they passed away within 2 months of each other, so to me, this would keep them together and it would be meaningful of that time in my life. And then the second one would be, or should I say will be, you know, I don't know, but the second one would be words from Nikki Ashton's book, Samuel. It's so interesting how there's just some words that a person writes that just, it's like an arrow straight to your heart, and you're like, how did that person write something that's so meaningful to me? And they don't even know me, but I've told Nikki this several times. She wrote, and it's from Samuel's perspective, I believe, yes. But to make it more about me, I changed the verbiage just a little bit in that I am his, he is mine, and they are who we created. And that would just be about me, my husband, and my family. And now I'm kind of panicked thinking I don't have that right. I'll make sure to have it right. Number 16 is, do I ever get good morning or good night texts? Sometimes my husband does that, or I do that. Like if we haven't seen each other, you know, or especially like a good night text if he's working really late and he'll know that I'm going to bed and he wants me to know that they're still working. Number 17 is, when did I last hold hands with someone? This is a big one for me because I love holding hands with my husband. I also used to hold my kids' hands literally until they were like, Mom, I don't need to hold your hand anymore. And that was kind of sad. So, but my husband, I love, it's one of my very, very, very favorite things. And when authors bring that into books, talking about, you know, the characters talking about holding hands, I always notice that. I love that. So the last time that I held hands was a couple months ago. Like more than 6 months ago. But hear me out. When I'm filming this, it's during COVID, and the last time we held hands was we were walking into a movie theater together. So we got out of the car and I think I grabbed his hand and we were walking into the movie theater. We haven't done that because of COVID. So that's why it's so long ago. And we really haven't gone anywhere else either. So that's why we haven't held hands in that long. Number 18 is funny. If I was drunk and couldn't stand, who would be helping me? Well, my husband for sure. He's really good about that stuff. He has been certainly the instigator to me getting drunk, but he's also good and he will take care of me. Besides my husband, it would be one of my best friends, Laura. She took care of me on my 21st birthday. She always looks out for me. I am not a big drinker. So there's this, you know, there's not been that many times where this has been a thing, but those would definitely be the 2 people. Number 19, have I shaved my legs in the last 3 days? Yes. That's like TMI, but I shave my legs more than every 3 days. Number 20, do I listen to my music loud or at a reasonable level? Okay, I have a thing with loud music. I don't like loud music unless it's in the car and I'm the only one in the car. It's a much deeper conversation. Loud music, especially rock music, is very triggering for me. I know it sounds ridiculous, but this is not a therapy session, so we're not going to go too far into it. but I don't like loud music because it brings me back to a time in my childhood where it's kind of upsetting and there's not good memories. So I do listen to it loud, but only if I'm in the car, and my loud is probably not the same as your loud. That's the end of the questions. I hope that, as random as these questions were, you got to know a little bit more of me, and that can help you understand where I come from when I'm reviewing romance books. I don't have a specific booktuber or YouTuber to credit with doing this. I took these questions from a different kind of video, which was a 50 questions about me, and I decided to do 20 questions about me. And if you stayed here till the end, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon. Bye.